So this right here is a peek under the hood of what it's like in the far-right pro-Trump movement. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. In 2016, there was an argument, there were some sympathies, there was a path to sort of rehabilitate and open eyes and change minds, because Trump, he said a lot of despicable things, but at the same time, he also postured as relatively populist. You know, I'm going to keep your jobs here. I'm not going to outsource them. I'm not going to cut Social Security. I'm not going to cut Medicare. NAFTA was the worst trade deal of all time, et cetera, et cetera. He said some things that made some people go, hey, maybe he'll fight for me, and I know Hillary Clinton won't. It was a different argument that you would present to those people and a different way of treating them to try to change their mind. When 2020 came around, a lot of those arguments were a lot less viable because these are people who saw how Trump governed and they still were like, I'm with him. And now we're talking about 2023 and 2024, and people are still basically coddling this guy's ballsack despite everything. Well, you know, look, that's why my tone has changed. Now it's not time for empathy and let me walk you through this carefully. Now it's time for wake the hell up and get the hell out of this. Because what you're about to see here is a great example of just flat out cult activity. This is Trump arriving in Des Moines, Iowa, and he has this group of people who are so insanely sycophantic, like he's Jesus and it's a fundamentalist religion. And even the hosts of this RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network, they're too far gone also, so let's watch.
It's important that outlets like myself actually get out there and do this. So.
You know, I'm going to vote for the man with the most impeachments and the most indictments because guess what? He knows where all this corruption is now, and he's going to go in, he's going to clean up. This is personal now. I believe this is personal to all of us that are voting for him, and it's so great to see.
I'm going to vote for the man with the most impeachments and the most indictments because guess what? He knows where all the corruption is now. Evidence against Trump, evidence of his own criminality and his own corruption is used as a positive. This is the hallmark of conspiracy thinking. That evidence which is dispositive is actually used in favor. It's the hallmark of a conspiracy. It's the hallmark of a cult. What an astonishing argument. I'm going to vote for the man with the most impeachments and most indictments because guess what? He knows where all the corruption is now. Yeah, he knows where it is because he's doing it. Because he is the criminal.
And the way that he is treated and dishonored, and the man comes back. He keeps fighting and fighting for this country. He's not been paid. He donates the money. He comes back and he fights again. Why? He loves America, and we matter to him. And he's not going to give up. He's not backing down, and we aren't either. He won that election before we went to bed. And 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I'm like, what happened? The big dump. And, you know, people can say whatever, but I'm just telling you, this man has been anointed. And this man is our way back. I believe in our founding fathers, our Constitution, and what's happening in this country right now is wrong and a travesty, and we need him back.
This man is anointed, and this man doesn't stop fighting for us. I wonder if she can name a single Trump policy. Name one that actually helped regular people. I'll wait. We've been through his record 1,000 times. His biggest legislative accomplishment was a massive tax cut that went to the top 1%. 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. He also deregulated massively. He gutted the Clean Water and Clean Air Act. He helped out the predatory payday lenders. He dropped all the regulations that were supposed to go into them so he can continue screwing people over and ripping them off. He destroyed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which had returned billions of dollars to defrauded Americans. His entire legislative record was one disastrous policy after another, and she acts like he's fighting for regular people. Did Donald Trump raise the minimum wage? No. Did Donald Trump give everybody a right to a union? No. Did Donald Trump do UBI or Social Security for all? No. So what are you talking about? But look, the more important point there is he was anointed. Anointed by who?
There's a couple people that are almost in tears as they tell the president wave goodbye. I just saw a lady wiping away tears, and I think that she's getting emotional right now because she knows that the president that's in that plane right now is the only person that can save this country.
Right. And God has put him on this planet to do that right now. He's at the moment.
Anointed by God. God has put him on this planet to do this. He's the only person who can save the country. And then they get mad and they get all in their feels when you say, yeah, this sounds like a cult and this looks like a cult. Now, I wouldn't have said that in 2016. I wouldn't have even said it in 2020. But today, it seems like an inescapable conclusion. An inescapable conclusion. I wish it wasn't the case, right? I wish I could still use an empathetic, sympathetic approach to like walk people out of this and open their eyes. But at this point, it's more like all we have is the stern father who's going to point at you and say, get your fucking shit together. You're a mess. None of this stuff is true. You're inside a cult. I mean, how much more evidence do you need? How much more evidence do you need? They don't know his record. They clearly don't care about his record. They're working backwards from their conclusion. Every piece of evidence against him they use in favor of him, and now they're invoking God. How do you break through to that? I don't know if you can break through to that. That's why we have the term TFG. Some people are too far gone. I don't want to come to this conclusion. I've tried to avoid this conclusion, but what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So anyway, look, there you have it. I wish there was a way out for these people, but it doesn't look like it. But the problem is they'll probably have a pretty stark awakening. Well, no, they'll just pretend like he won the election, even if he loses the election. But you lost every independent, you lost every moderate, you lost every center-right person. You lost any normie in the country. Anybody who's not totally gung-ho all in for Trump, they're all looking at you like, what? So it'll probably be a stark awakening. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.